Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Roads, and this one is really spur of the moment, kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm actually going to make a day trip of going to Illinois over this weekend. And it's not just like, I mean, it's already long enough you think maybe, okay, you know, other side of Terre Haute, Indiana. No. We're going almost all the way to St. Louis. Check out the Goldenrod Showboat. It's actually a National Historic Landmark, and it's about to be scrapped. Apparently, in an effort to try to preserve it, and they're moving it, the hull buckled. This happened last year. And, you know, it can't sit in the water now. And so in order to make this repair would cost over $300,000. And they know this because the last time they looked into these type of repairs was over 12 years ago, and that's how much it cost, which is really sad. It was the largest, most extravagant showboat of its time. Was built in 1909, 3 years before the Titanic. And, you know, unfortunately, this is happening to it. It's going to be scrapped April 1st. And right now, it's almost March 1st. It's the very end of February. So, this is a little crazy because it's still winter. It's an exterior location. There's no heat, no lighting, no nothing. And so this is going to be a chilly one. It is supposed to, I'll check the weather, it's supposed to creep into the 60s a little bit on that day, but you know, at night it gets cool. So yeah, this will be interesting. So, but I'm actually looking forward to it. I mean, any historic places, I always enjoy getting into. I enjoy the history. I enjoy the voices of the past. And with this one, it's sad because you know it's not going to be around anymore. So, enough talking in the car. It's time to hit the road. Okay, so basically we're doing Buffalo Wild Wings tonight. I'm just killing time because traffic Friday night around here is ridiculous. Guy that used to work part-time for me, Ross, works here. I'm going to see if he's in. He actually contributed a story to Encounters with the Paranormal, so it'd be cool to stop in and see him. Okay, and now the real fun begins with all the nighttime driving and the heavy traffic, and getting out of Maryland is the biggest pain in the ass. Okay, friends of the Paranormal Roads, we're at the Midway Travel Plaza. Yeah, I'm walking backwards, so it seems silly. But what else am I gonna do? But yep, gonna go get some coffee. Gonna need it for the crazy drive. All right, I got a gas and go. Only in Pennsylvania, I got a lot of miles to go, and it's already almost 10:30, and it's cold. Good morning, and away we go. We got to find ourselves some coffee. It's been a long night of driving. We've got some more driving to do. The sun is behind me because it is rising in the east. Right along the border for Ohio and Indiana, kind of stopped and caught a few winks at the rest area. Yes, I will do that sometimes, just crash out of the car for a little bit and then continue on. So that means dead ahead of me, for those that know I-70 in this part of the country, there's the little mini arch. Yes, I was able to find one. Coffee. We're good to go on coffee for right now. For those keeping score at home, no, I do not have my black Starbucks coffee tumbler with me that I featured all throughout January in my coffee chronicle. This was kind of like one of those last minute trips, you know, just kind of throw everything in the back real quick out the door. And so it's back at the office. Okay, yeah, also for those keeping score at home, I realized this is the same vehicle that on my last road trip broke down in New Stanton, Pennsylvania, with the fuel pump going out. But, you know, we have that repaired, fixed. She's good to go. Got an oil change just recently, so we're all right. We're in good shape. Heading west. We have coffee. We're good.
Jacob Medford, the Vice President of the Historic Riverboat Preservation Association with the Goldenrod Showboat. When it was built, it was the biggest and most elaborately decorated showboat, and it was the biggest one ever built and still holds that title. It's the last authentic showboat alive as of right now. There is one other showboat called the Majestic over in Cincinnati, but it's actually a smaller boat, and it's what they consider a family boat, and it's been rebuilt from what it was originally. So it's not authentic at all. So this is the last authentic showboat in America, and it still holds the title as the biggest and most elaborately decorated.
Somewhere on this boat there's something that growls a lot, and you know it's not like an animal, because there would be evidence of, if something was growling of that size, you know, you would definitely see evidence of something. And right now all that we've really seen is just evidence of, you know, like mice or birds. We were in here one night giving a tour, and the door opened. It was originally shut. I've seen somebody standing in here at the ticket window. And then the downstairs offices are super creepy. There's definitely been reports of shadows down there. And then when the stained glass used to be here, there's been a couple of times from either in there or out here, we've seen somebody standing looking out in the stained glass. And enough where you can see like the outline of like a head and shoulders, and not necessarily features, but you could definitely tell that it was, you know, a human, and it kind of looked male. I don't know how many men are on this boat, really. I know that the captain's on here, a couple of women and a kid, and then something that growls. So we don't know what that is, and nobody's ever seen it, but Jake calls it the creature or the critter or whatever. When I was looking in the mirror while I was cleaning the bar and saw a man walking in a white sports coat and white pants. And he had kind of darkish hair. And, you know, Captain Bill Minky that was on here, in his pictures, he usually has lighter colored hair. But the few times that I've seen him, he definitely looks, you can definitely tell it's him. I have an audio of Captain Minky saying my name going down that side. I also have that's also the side that I was going on whenever I said that I missed him and he said it back. I know I saw a shadow earlier, like there was no disputing that I saw that. I just wish.
I don't doubt you.
Yeah.
I saw one earlier. I mean, my question is, like, I'm not familiar with this boat, so I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, I'm 100% positive. I mean, you can't, you know, I didn't see features or anything like that, you know, or even, you know, colors, just a shadow. This is, most recently it was a dining area, but before that it was the living quarters for the staff that lived on here. The female spirit that's on here, I think she spends the majority of her time up here, and she's really strong. We've heard piano playing up here, which is over there, and I've seen people standing at windows many times. Some of the times whenever I'm driving by, you know, I'll see someone in the window and not see any vehicles, and, you know, I have to pull in to make sure, you know, nobody's actually on here that shouldn't be here. This doorway over here, we've seen people in the mirror here, and one night we had a group of probably 15 people in here, and one of our investigators, someone had turned on their flashlight, but before they turned it off, a woman wearing a gray dress, long sleeves, walked through the doorway. And she was the only one that saw it. And of course, we didn't catch it on film, but we had to do a head count to make sure where everybody was at, because somebody definitely walked through the door. I'd never really been touched, by anything before. And he was sitting, we were filming, so we had to be quiet. And he was sitting out there in the lobby with, on one of the benches, and he was sitting with his, he was sitting close to the doorway, and something came up behind him and tapped him on the arm, and he sent me he was like, I'm not going to say that on camera, but it freaked him out. And usually whenever something like that happens, he's like, I'm going on the deck. I'm going outside. But since he's had that happen to him, it kind of opened the floodgates, I guess, for him, because he's had a lot of personal experiences on here since then. And he's been coming on here longer than me.
You were saying about sloshing feet?
Yeah. That sounded like scooting feet. I assume it was Annie, the spirit on here that was found, sorry Annie, floating in the water. But it sounded like someone was walking on carpet with like wet feet, like you could hear the suction, of it like sticking to the carpet, and it sounded like footsteps. You can tell that they weren't wearing shoes. It was kind of like a fabric sound. So, and I left a recorder running in here, and that went on for like 10 minutes of the recording. Like that's all it was, just nothing but walking around with wet feet. Captain Minky likes bare feet.
You said that, yes.
So, yeah.
That he likes women's feet.
He does. A friend of mine and I were sitting, there used to be a table out here in the middle, a conference type setting, and we were sitting here talking about feet for some reason. I don't even know how it came up, but it was summer in here, so it's kind of warm, and I usually try to wear tennis shoes or boots or something to cover my feet, but it was kind of like an impromptu, last minute investigation. I was wearing flip flops. Oh. So we were sitting there talking about feet, and I glanced up at the captain's table and I said, hey, Captain Minky, what do you think of feet? You like feet? Random question that people probably don't ask. And then about that time, the audio picked up a yes, and you could hear someone sitting down at his table. So cool. I was like, so Captain Minky likes women's feet, So I was like, well, if you can, do something else that we can hear or that I can see, I'll come up there and prop my bare feet up on your table, and you can just get your fill. So, and before the end of the investigation, I had to go up there and stay true to my word, because he was very active walking around upstairs with boots on, apparently, because that's what it sounded like, several, steps. You can tell the heel to toe, So Captain Minky likes women's feet. Who knows? Maybe you're going to be holding the camera, so you're not going to be able to catch, yourself. But I think everybody gets hands put on them at some point in this place. So full hair and
something. I think I've already had a little tickle behind the ear or something. So yeah.
That very well could be Annie, possibly.
Okay.
Maybe she's found someone else to have a crush on other than Jake.
Uh-oh. Tonight we're investigating the historic Goldenrod Showboat. It has been the largest and most extravagant showboat in the United States and America. And unfortunately, it is now scheduled to be scrapped April 1. So this is one of the very last times it will ever be investigated. Shauna here has investigated it many times, and you have a few words you want to say about it?
I truly, honestly wish that everybody watching this can get a piece of this before it's gone, because it's a paranormal investigator's gold mine in here. So it's a very active place. It's got a lot of history, and I basically dare anybody that steps foot into it to not leave a piece of themselves behind and take a piece with them. So it's really a great place.
One of the things that I've talked about in the past is being able to pass on our knowledge and the things that we've learned in our lifetimes to the next generation. This here is a piece of American history, a piece of Americana that we are going to have to now, through the museum that's going to be put together and through the remaining videos like this, to pass down to the next generation of what had been an absolutely extravagant and era of splendor for the showboats on the Mississippi. I heard that. I'd really love to meet everybody. This is the only time I'm going to be here. Now, can you come down, introduce yourself? Show me this fabulous showboat that you have here. What's that?
Yeah, if you have a lock on it, lock it.
Oh yeah, I put mine on hold. Over there. Somebody up by the stage? Really, I wish I could have seen a performance here on this stage. Can you tell me about the shows here? What's on the other side now?
Can you tell if it's someone trying to get on, or?
The one was over here, and then that one was over on this side.
Hello?
Somebody there?
If there's somebody coming on, you better not be human. I would try not to threaten bodily damage on recording,
Well, yeah.
but if there's somebody trying to get on, you're not gonna get off. It sounded pretty loud.
It was pretty loud.
And I've heard enough of the pops and cracks, the boat sound, but that doesn't sound, that didn't sound like.
Somebody down there.
No, I don't see anybody on the other side of that door. Oh, listen.
A couple of footsteps, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's back up on the other side of the stage again. And that's where I saw the shadow earlier today. It's back in there. Somebody back here behind the stage? Really just want to talk to you, get to know you. Find out what you do here on the boat.
What's that? I think I'm gonna close this door. Just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, it might be a good idea. Make sure nobody's climbing in over there. You in your quarters, Captain? Okay, you keep walking around us. Do you want to talk to us? Over there that time. That's a lot of banging around you keep doing. What are you trying to tell us?
Is there somebody upstairs in the balcony?
You up there watching us, Captain?
Captain Minky, I've really missed you. Have you missed me just a little bit? You think about me? I think about you all the time. One of the reports up here is that sometimes people see like a little red ball of light bouncing around up there. Usually pretty good size, like about the size of a, at least a baseball. It's pretty good size. I think move away from that,
Yeah. Okay. Now it's back at point one. Okay. Just for the video record, we were flatlined at 0 for like the last half an hour, and now we're just starting to get a little point one hit. I've been feeling stuff around my ears. Shauna's been getting poked, and we also heard a loud breath, like somebody's sighing or taking a big breath off to our left.
It's very active in here tonight.
Mm-hmm. So we've offered for somebody to come sit down next to us.
Now, if you make movements on the floor, like shake the floor, will that manipulate that? Okay,
Does that answer that?
just checking. Because, you know, like with those, if you make a sudden...
Right, and I think the
setback.
batteries in the K2 died.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty much. The K2's dead.
have they been in there for a while?
Yeah. So do you want to come over here and sit down next to us? Come talk to us a little bit?
If you can't see us, then if you just come over here and follow the sound of our voices, and there's a chair over here by us.
And that is my squeaky jacket for audio. And also we continue to hear a lot of loud bangs, like somebody's kicking the side of the boat. So if you get a little closer to us, you see that 1 on that little light up box? It might get up to a 2 if you get a little closer to us. Sometimes that happens. So we can't see you, so we don't know exactly where you are, but it started getting, it hit that 1 when we asked you to come over here by us.
So if you could do whatever it is you were doing,
A loud bang behind us.
yeah. Come on down here and get closer.
Go ahead, you can come closer. Let's get to know each other a little bit. I want to hear your story. Point 2 again.
Can you come down a
Mhm.
little closer?
It's okay. What was that?
I don't know.
And then footsteps. More footsteps.
I don't know what that noise was before.
Point 2.
It's getting a little closer.
That's fine. Keep coming closer. It was almost like an electronic buzz.
I mean, it wasn't, but it was
It was over
like
there.
further away.
Yeah, it was over there somewhere. And then we got the footsteps. Well, it seems like you're trying to reach out, get a little closer to us. Go ahead, take your time, but please, go ahead, keep coming closer. And we'll have a little chat.
Wow.
And another big bang.
I don't know what those are, but
Let's
I guess
chat about the person that keeps kicking the boat. Where did you get that?
there was one night the
Now,
milk
did you hear it?
Was that you? I thought maybe it was you, like your
No.
foot or something.
I don't see anything. Well, there's really not enough that I can say about the historic Goldenrod Showboat. It was absolutely fantastic. It was a great investigation. One that was interesting in how the spirits, there was a lot of activity up front, and it's like they all expended it at once, because then it got dead quiet afterward. But there was a number of things that went on. It's a great investigation. The story of the showboat and what's happening with it is very sad, and I know that they've worked very hard to try to save it, try to preserve it. And it's really a national treasure and part of American history that is going to be completely lost, save for a few museum items, and being how I am so in touch with history and our origins and the places that we come from. To me, you're losing a chunk of American history here that will forever be gone. And I guess I just don't understand how you can just let something like that go by the wayside. I think we ought to do a better job of preserving our past for future generations to experience and explore and understand. Because when these things fade away, they fall into a distant memory and become forgotten. Well, hopefully the Goldenrod will stay alive a little bit through these videos, through those that share the memories and experiences now through the museum that they're creating. It's certainly very heartbreaking that it will meet its end. And I don't know what will happen with the spirits that are on that boat, but I do hope that in their continued afterlife that they do find some peace. Until next time.